This week, the State Department finally published the Visa Bulletin for April 2023, and we're seeing even worse retrogression for EB2 for India, falling back to January 2011. That's a 15-month difference from where we started in fiscal year 2023 in the October 2022 Visa Bulletin. For EB5, there were no changes as expected. Visa preference is current for all new EB5 investors considering making qualified EB5 investments in the reserved Visa set-asides. So let's take a closer look. Hi everyone, welcome back to Barring's UEB5 channel, where we give you the Visa updates and strategies to help you successfully navigate the EB5 investor visa program. For those unfamiliar with the Visa Bulletin, it's published by the State Department each month to show when you can apply for your green card and understand whether or not you face any visa retrogression or backlogs for your visa preference and country of origin. If you want to learn more, see our video on how to read and understand the Visa Bulletin. We recently spoke with Charlie Oppenheim, former Chief of Visa Control of the State Department and responsible for the Visa Bulletin and visa allocation for over 20 years. He breaks down how the Visa Bulletin works and what you can expect, and you can see that video here. EB2 is retrogressed for all countries, and we see final action dates sliding from November 2022 to July 2022. India fared worse still, moving from October 2011 back to January 2011. Demand remains very high for EB2, and we can't expect the carryover of unused family-based visas like we saw during the COVID pandemic when U.S. consulates overseas were closed. Fiscal year 2023, in fact, is expected to be the last year for higher rollover of unused family-based visas, with an estimated 197,000 visas available for the employment-based visa preferences. But this can't compare to 2021 and 2022, when we saw 262,000 and over 280,000 visas available, substantially mitigating visa backlogs, particularly in the EB2 and EB3 categories for India. Next year, it's expected for numbers to be closer to the annual visa limit of 140,000 visas. So unfortunately, we can't expect to see any significant improvements to these visa backlogs for China and India in these categories. For EB3, there is some minor advancement for China from August 2018 to November 2018, while India remained fixed at June 15, 2012. When looking at Chart B for the first, second, and third visa preferences, there were no changes, except for China and EB3, which did advance several months from September 1st, 2018 to February 1st, 2019. Chart B is the date for filing. That is when you can submit your I-45 adjustment of status application or your immigrant visa application for consular processing if you're outside the United States. Chart B, date for filing, also is an indicator where the state thinks the final action dates will be by the end of the year. For EB5, the new visa set-aside categories remain current, and investors from all countries may apply with no backlog. This is likely to hold true for the rest of the year. This is important because in order for you to take advantage of the concurrent filing strategy, that is, filing your I-45 adjustment of status application at the same time as your EB5 petition, your priority date must be current at the time you file. This enables you to get your EAD card or work authorization within about 3 months from the date of filing. For the unreserved EB5 visa category, there are no changes. The final action date for China remains at July 8, 2015 and June 1st, 2018 for India. In Chart B, the dates for filing, there are no changes either. Now, last month, I mentioned how it was odd that the dates for filing remain the same, even though the final action dates for China and India in the unreserved dates retrogressed further. Remember, the dates for filing are where the state estimates the final action dates will be at the end of the year. But there is a key difference for April. On the USCIS.gov website, USCIS states that those who want to file their adjustment of status applications must follow Chart A for April, whereas for the March Visa Bulletin, those seeking to file their adjustment of status applications can follow Chart B. This means that if any EB5 investors with a pending I-526 petition with a priority date between July 8, 2015 and January 1st, 2016 for China, and June 1st, 2018 and December 8, 2019 for India, would need to file their adjustment of status applications by the end of this month before the April Visa Bulletin takes effect. I'll put a link below to the USCIS website to follow along. In the end, the April Visa Bulletin is not providing much of a case for optimism in the employment-based visa preferences, particularly for EB1, EB2, and EB3 visa preferences. For EB5, we have to see how USCIS ramps up processing to tackle existing backlogs in the unreserved EB5 visa line and not waste further unused visas. In a prior video, we discussed USCIS's recent proposal to raise fees across the board, but especially for EB5. This rule has not yet been made final. If and when it does, we do hope it leads to more hiring and better mitigation of visa backlogs. But in the face of uncertain EB5 processing times and real or potential visa backlogs, filing concurrently the I-526E petition and the I-45 adjustment of status application can be an effective strategy for EB5 investors to gain a level of control over their destiny. Concurrent filing, while priority dates remain current, enable you to get an EAD card faster, typically in about 3 months, and enable you to enjoy the benefits of a green card while you wait for your petition to be approved. The work authorization and travel document or advanced parole are renewable for 2-year periods even if processing times lengthen or a visa backlog is imposed. This includes the entire family, and filing the EB5 petition along with the I-45 adjustment of status application can be beneficial too if your children risk aging out in the excruciatingly long EB2 and EB3 visa backlogs without worrying about the luck of winning the H-1B lottery. If you'd like to learn more about how you and your family can take advantage of the concurrent filing strategy through the EB5 visa program, contact the Bearing team. That's all for now. There's so much more to cover, and we'll continue to deliver you important updates and tips about the EB5 investor visa strategy to obtain a green card for you and your family. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. I encourage you to subscribe to Bearing's UEB5 channel to stay updated on Visa Bulletin news. And if you have questions or items you would like to see in future videos, leave a comment below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.